Hello there, my name is Samuel, and I welcome you to this lesson in the Prince Armory Academy. By the end of this video, you will know how to attach any variety of horns to your leather helmets or other armor and leather projects. You will also learn where I get exotic horns for my own custom builds, and I'll be providing 2 complete examples of attaching horns and 2 custom helmets. In the first example, I will share how I attach the impala horns to the recent dragon head helmet, and in the second, I'll be attaching blesbok horns to a similar helmet core. So why do you need a lesson like this anyway? All you need to do is just screw it in from the back, right? Or maybe glue a collar around the horn maybe? Well, not so fast. When it comes to horns, they come in every shape and size, and your technique should vary depending on the situation. And if you want them to stand up to any abuse, you may need to apply more than one method alone for reinforcement. I will be sharing from my experiences making many horned helmets over the years, and include complete examples of the 2 most recent horned helmet projects. I'll provide my design and thought process from start to finish, plus additional tips so you can adapt these designs to any scenario and any type of horn. I'm going to be covering many techniques because there are many types of horns, and there's no clear-cut answer for any one scenario. So the point will be to teach you the skill and reasoning so that you can improvise to your own needs. And as another bonus, if I have an opportunity in the future, I'll be sure to expand this video later if there are any new tips to be had. Before we start the lesson, let's consider a few things. Don't worry, we'll be diving into the good stuff in just a minute. But before we talk about the how, let's briefly look at the why. So why do we even want to attach horns in the first place? The answer has to be for aesthetics, right? Because it looks cool, unusual, or otherwise interesting in some way to make the design more visually compelling. Even if you are a historical purist, you can acknowledge that various designs in history have some standout features like large crests and plumes and various accessories that are clearly meant for ornamentation and visual impact more than any function. Sometimes the visual impact is the function. So this begs the question, can this be done in a feasible way? Again, I think the answer has to be yes, because it's all going to be subjective based on your application anyway. After all, you could go for something very subtle and discreet like using small horn tips, or at the extreme other end, one could in theory mount Texas Longhorns to a helmet, which would pretty much blow out the spectrum here. At that point, you'd be mounting the helmet to the horns. So this means you have to invest at least a little thought into the application of your design. I assume that most of you will be using the garb for various events like conventions and renfests, maybe a little sparring, but try to imagine how you or your client will use the end result. I'm actually a big fan of function over form, and that should be your guiding mantra and starting point in general. But if you're thoughtful about it, you can find where to reasonably bend the rules and consider the trade-offs. Are you okay ducking down through doorways? Do you mind the extra weight on the helmet if you're using big heavy horns? Only you or your client can answer these questions, which will impact the design. And also try to consider those around you too. If you're going to be partaking in live combat, I would save the horns for ceremonial garb, not your fighting gear, as you don't want the liability of the horn stabbing somebody accidentally in combat. Probably.